I wish we'd been recorded when we were saying really epic stuff, but yeah, we are starting with the end. This is the beginning of the end here. Shipbreakers, Stars That Numbers Revised, episode 45 plus the finale. The golden goose, long away from the goose's nest, which hangs broken in space, still being hauled for major structural repairs. Golden Goose travels down into the atmosphere of the planet. And we see, as you're following the signal, it's almost like a guideline. It's just an open radio signal, a navigational beacon, really, with no sound coming through. And you follow it to a series of caves. And they look large enough that you could actually fit the whole ship in there. And as you get closer, you can visually see that there are like old, rusted, all of the light bulbs are gone. It's just the Las Vegas arrow pointing signs pointing to the cave mouth. You also see that there's a piece of graffiti that says DJ Guacamole Norway was here. As the ship flies into the cave, at first it's a tight fit, but then they begin to open up a little bit more. Flicking on the external lights, you go from almost complete darkness into this sort of strange, surreal, almost liminal space. And then, in the spaces that your lights don't light up, in the darkness that you can see out of the sides of that hammerhead front that your salvaging ship has, you can see that there are glowing animals following you, flying with you as little fire drakes follow along with your ship and seem to almost be guiding you. Like when Van-Vee drifts a little bit too far to the side, the ones on the right side will slam into the side of the ship and like hang on the cockpit glass as if to tell you you're getting too close. Finally, the cave comes to an abrupt halt and there's a drop straight down. And all of the fire drakes immediately just plummet and begin folding their wings and falling straight down. You follow. When you come out of a second darkness of just an almost immeasurable amount of time dropping down this dark hole, it opens up into an underground cave. The sky is holographically illuminated from the outside, looking almost like a beautiful Earth-like paradise world down here. I just imagine the bunker from the Fallout TV series, where it's like projected images and like fake Nebraska or fake Kansas in the background. The buildings here are all built to look like they're part of a beautiful vacation community with a beach and all of that, but you know that you're deep underground in a survival bunker. And people begin walking out. A lot of them look exactly the same. In fact, there's only about 12 different variations of people, but there's about 600 people coming out of various ages. None of them are younger than 4 years old or older than 40. It's just eerie, surreal as your ship just hovers, not quite touching the ground. What do you do?
Are there any other ships or anything like that in the area? Or
There is nothing like that in the air. There are future science fiction buildings. All of them have rounded corner edges. There's a lot of smart glass that goes from like not transparent to like fully transparent as someone like goes to their office window and like and is like, oh my god, there's a ship out there. Like you could see them like doing that, but the same person does it at the next office over and the next office over, and they're all like, wow, like their move at the same time. It's so creepy. You'd almost think it was robotic if you didn't know that cloning and mind transplanting was all involved in it.
Just to be sure, I think Van-Vee would try to scan to like try to match the life forms he's seeing with the life forms that scan reports back to see if some of them are part of this imagery and not in fact real.
You do detect that there are more life forms present than what you are currently seeing. Not everyone is leaving, but as your cockpit glass begins overlaying like hundreds of people, they are all, in fact, fully human. And more human, perhaps, than you. Baseline Terran mandate, all of them. 100% in excellent care. They've never been in a fight. They've never had broken bones. They've never been shot at.
For a
Perfect health.
split second, he debates opening up with the link. And he's like, maybe not a good idea. We'll wait.
I'm monitoring the firewalls on the ship.
Firewalls are fine. The
Might be
quarantine
in communication.
filters to the outside are basically like, do not open the door. We are detecting strong nanomaterial. Like you've inputted the specifications for the stealth nanomaterial that the Terran mandate hid and that these people have hacked into, and the outside is absolutely teeming with it. They are trying to find a way in this nanomaterial. You're checking for communication? There is only the guide beacon directly beneath your ship that appears to still be functioning, is the only open electronic communication in the area. As you're checking for stuff like that, you find that the guide beacon appears to be like partially buried in the grass that's here. It's not even like on the surface. These people may not even know that it exists.
You know, I kind of was expecting there to be more technology here with all the
Yeah.
cloning, not less. I mean, it seems like they don't even have a way to contact us.
Gotta, you want to hop on the loudspeaker?
As you're saying that, Van-Vee, you see an absolutely gorgeous woman who looks like she's 4 or 5 years younger than you, that steps out from behind everyone else. As she begins walking forward, everybody begins forming like a semicircle around your ship and is showing her signs of respect and fear as you recognize a younger version of the Grace that you've seen in the movies stepping forward and kind of almost girlishly waving at the ship. Absolutely using 100% of her acting skills to seem non-hostile, demure, welcoming.
Well,
You can see that she's saying something, but you're inside of a sealed ship, so
we have external mics.
you want to turn those on?
If there's a way to communicate without having to be face to face yet,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, you're picking it up. You get the tail end of it like, hello? Are you okay in there? Is everyone all right? We've been trying to speak to you. We don't mean you any harm. How did you find this place? Why don't you come out? We have some antibiotic medication and everything needed to adjust you to the local allergens.
With our mics not on yet, I'm like, I don't think we want to take anything from them, right? But I did come here for a conversation. But before we open any doors, I guess, Minerva, are we ready for our, I guess, plan B to hit the purge button, I suppose?
I'm ready to activate and bolster the security system. I still recommend we do not open the exterior of the ship. I also don't recommend you leave the ship, but the captain's plan to take you out himself and leave the ship sealed is at least some kind of protection for the ship and Iona?
Now,
It's an
I have
option.
an incredibly important question that I have to interrupt this whole conversation with. Van-Vee, would you consider the planet Scarfy, the planet you were born on, your home?
When
You've
I
been trying
created
to come
him,
here. It's been your primary goal for almost the entire game. You've been desperate to come here to meet with your people one way or the other. Is this your home? And if not, where is your home? And it's important for reasons I can't tell you until you answer.
yeah, I mean, I think this is a classic case of he has to get there to see if he fits in, if it would be his home. If he fits in with the rest, and this is where I belong, and this is my home. So as of right now, I think he is hopeful that it's his home, but I don't think he knows. I don't know if that helps or not.
That's okay. I'm going to take that as a partial yes answer. So
Okay.
I'm now going to reveal why that's a bad thing for you.
Oh no.
Grace has the second tier of the leader ability, which means that anyone who considers themselves to have been from her community automatically consider her an authority figure and will generally do any minor things that she asks for without any consideration. Now, several people that you've met so far also have this ability, like the Royal Princess and the entire board of the Finana Fleet Systems. And I've been trying to show you that this is such a dire threat by all of the people who you've met who've been affected by it, like how Iono is deeply affected by the Royal Princess, despite the fact she's not even from the planet, but she just did her professorship from it. It is a pervasive, incredibly powerful leadership and charisma, and Grace is now using it on you.
How would like if
He hasn't asked you to do anything yet.
right, which is
And
why
it's
I
not like
think
you
it's
become a mindless zombie, but
right.
minor things that you wouldn't think would cause you harm, you'll begin doing automatically without even considering it.
It's like a 10th level charm. Okay. But I mean, we'll cross the bridge if we get there. But if she asked me to do something that may be contrary to what I would normally do, or contrary to what the captain says, that's why I'd be like, what
As
kind
long
of
as we're
like,
all on the same page here now.
yeah.
And this isn't even the first time I've asked you this question, because the last time I asked you the question, you were like, I'm not sure I have a home.
Well, at least I'm mildly consistent. I certainly can't say it's mid-pile anymore.
I asked you because I wanted to know if you were affected by the Royal Princess the last time.
Nice. I dodged one bullet, but not the other. I think Van-Vee would then be like, well, not opening the ship. I mean, I guess that's a good way to safeguard, but I mean, I would like to go talk to her. And I kind of
Sorry, we can see you moving in there. Can you hear us? Is there something we can do to help you?
How can they see us moving?
Because you're in a giant glass cockpit.
Oh, that's true. We're all glass. Yeah, okay.
Ship.
I was like, wait a minute.
The whole front of the ship is like a hammerhead shark, so you can have a wide field of view for the salvage arm on the top of the ship.
Well, I guess, Cap, if it's all right with you, I wouldn't mind bamfing down there just to have a conversation.
Is it a language problem? Do you not speak
Oh my goodness.
Terran Mandate?
I just kind of want to show up in front of her cat.
Can we just mute for a second? Turn the volume down. All
Okay.
right.
You turn the volume up.
I mean, with your ability to create a sealed pressure environment that might slow down the infection rate.
That's what I'm counting on. I can activate the pressure field. It should keep out. I don't know how much of this stuff. I don't know how long it'll give us, but it is proof against vacuum and quite a bit of different pressures. So we can get the shop Van-Vee. We can double up in the suits and the pressure field.
I will. That's a good idea. I'll put the suit on, and then if it's all right with you, I wouldn't mind bamfing out there. And then I think we need a Minerva, with you listening in, whether it be earpiece or external mics here, we have like a fail-safe word where you just kind of hit the go nuclear button.
Say the word and we're coming back.
If your behaviors are out of line with my baseline analysis for your patterns, I will activate it.
I would love to know what you think my baseline is, Minerva.
Getting right around leadership control immediately with such a
Like, we know that these things overwrite people's bodies and put new
Yeah.
people in.
Yeah.
That's the
So
concern. It's not so much Van-Vee falling under her spell.
I thought it, but I was gonna finish by saying like just in general a good precaution to have based on what you know, but a direct counter to the leadership thing.
without having any idea that we're countering leadership, I think it's just the nanites I'm countering.
Yeah, 100%.
This is what I get for letting him play a blue deck. Okay, you bamf out wearing full suits.
Yeah.
But
Everyone like takes a step back, shocked, except for you can see that a couple more Graces have joined in the crowd. Most of them are quite a bit older than this Grace.
I probably look at the one that looks most similar to the movie posters I saw, just because it's my familiarity. Even though if no one else is like treating her as the leader, I look at that one.
Okay.
And I'll just say
Grace that you were talking to looks at her, and the other Grace looks back, and you can tell that they are having a subtle power struggle between them.
Uh-oh.
And the one that is younger accedes and allows the older
You're looking
one
at
to
different
take
ones.
the. And this woman steps forward. Now I have to ask: does your suit helmet show who you are?
Hmm.
I think as I say Grace, I'll like pull the visor part down so you can see through, but still encased in glass or whatever.
She gasps and says, Is that you? Are you the lost child that was taken from me? And she begins weeping, and like several of the people nearby immediately put a hand on her, almost like religiously. Like they're reaching around and like shoulder, arm, like hand, like people are just touching her everywhere as and you, having watched her movies, can tell that this crying 100% manufactured, the fakest ass shit possible. Everyone around her has bought it, but you are obsessed with this woman at a genetic level, at the whatever you've inherited from your father as a former holder of these nanotechnologies. Your obsession extends far enough to know that this woman is acting this way. She in no way considers you her child. You are her husband, and to some extent, a piece of property for her. You belong to her, and she is trying to manipulate you literally 0.1 seconds into a conversation with you.
I think I'd respond with, depends. What was that lost child's name? I was really hoping she was going to pick a name when she spoke previously.
Oh my God, you can tell this is not a woman who ever hesitates, and this is probably the only thing you could say that would cause her to hesitate. She says,
On the weak spot.
we hadn't decided a name for you. Oh, fuck it. You already know why you're here. Your father told you.
Is only one Grace weeping, or do they all start crying at once?
No,
That'd be weird.
the other Graces are standing by very neutrally, almost robotically, letting the one take the lead. And the one who is taking the lead appears to have just been like, this questioning is pointless. You obviously were informed by y'all as to what's going on. Are you him, or are you just loose and reckless in the universe? Perhaps you've come to take us home? One would hope that you could treat your wife better than your father could.
I came to talk and to meet you and understand what had happened and how I got to where I was.
Now, I want to be clear. When you say I came to talk and meet you, she looks at the first Grace, the younger Grace, with the smuggest look of superiority you've ever seen. And
Jeez.
just there's a whole second conversation happening between all of the Graces that's above you. Like, you don't know what's going on, but it's clear that there's a power struggle happening within this colony, and that the one that you've decided to talk to is now rapidly becoming the leader.
I'm picturing like in Dune, they're using the voice at each other.
I mean,
and I can't hear it.
It's not quite like that, but sure, that's not a bad comparison.
Just
but
it's
not.
Intensity.
It's not even. I don't mean like they're using space magic on each other. There is a level of political manipulation going on here you have no context for, but your words are helping one side of whatever this poly-sided nth dimensional political structure. You're choosing to focus in on this person has made her the one that everyone else must look to. She is now the decider. And very specifically, you moving away from like this, you're my mom, you're my wife, to you're the person that I wanted to talk to, has absolutely discluded all other plans.
I think in that moment, seeing the back and forth, kind of like having the body language back and forth also resets Van-Vee a bit to realize he's not here by himself, and he thinks of why we're here with MINERVA and Quentin. And it's like, I don't want to cut right to the chase, but does everyone know, or do you know?
No, what? No, wait, hold on. She'd say, no what, dear? That's a neutral enough term that one would use for a family member.
Well, I guess the truth of your hosts, so to speak.
A whole crowd, including her, is looking like perplexed. She says,
acting perplexed or real perplexed?
I think this will require a roll.
Yeah.
That's going to be the perception-y, wisdom-y, insight-y.
Did we?
No,
Remind
we
me
don't
how we're
have
supposed to
character
roll
sheets. You just got to roll 2d6 plus.
Oh, wait a minute. I
your
do.
stats.
Well, I have a character sheet, just completely blank.
It's a D&D 5e character sheet. I'm sorry, Dunamis. I can't let you do that.
Well, TD6. I think I had a plus. What was it? Notice plus intel. Is that it?
Yeah.
I had a 2 and a 1, so 2d6 plus 3. Well, that's not good. Frick these ones.
It's
game
hard. I mean, no matter how well you know her, she is still a immaculate actress, and it's hard to say. Her body language is confused, perplexed. Like, you're like, were you ready for my big reveal? The thing you know that everyone else doesn't? And she's like, what do you think I know?
Yeah.
So what she says is, many here bear some variation from one of my prime offshoots. They have my memories. I hold nothing back from the people here. What is it you think that you know? What lies has the traitor y'all told you? And as she says that, and you look out among the people here,
I see y'alls.
Don't see any y'alls.
Do I see any of the circle of 8?
You do. You see all of their faces reflected here, but no y'alls.
Well, this one I found out on my own, actually. Doesn't have anything to do with y'all. In fact, I don't think he was happy when I found out, but I guess that's not important now. He's not with us.
Your line and not being happy is... and she chuckles, you know, and several of the other Graces chuckle. The rest of the crowd looks fucking horrified by what she just said.
Wait,
This is
sorry, what? Maybe I misheard. What exactly did she say?
She
You're
said
lying?
that your line is used to not being happy.
Lying is not. Okay. I mean, I, s- I think we'll probably get. Do you want to keep having this conversation in public like this? Seems a little tense in front of your
I agree.
12 people.
We should have it more privately. Why don't you take your suit off and we will go to my office and have a private discussion between family members? You should be more comfortable. Is there a... I'm so sorry. Are you also a y'all?
Hey, you probably have the visor up. All she knows is two of us. That's really funny.
No, man. Quentin Alexander Polk the fourth. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Charmed, I'm sure. What is your position here?
This is my captain.
Yeah.
Your captain. You work? You work for someone else.
I feel like that's a pretty common thing. Yeah.
There is a look of increasing concern that flashes over all of the Graces that they try to smother. Captain Polk. Quentin?
Sure.
I assume you already know who I am by context clues, but I'm Grace. Why don't you both just take your helmets off and we'll get you out of those suits? And we have a local refreshment here made out of dark rum, cream of coconut, some orange juice, a little splash of grenadine.
You know, we've had a bit of a rough go of it recently. Medical procedures can't really just take these off. We got to be careful here.
Oh, we
Whole
have
new world.
we
all
have
sorts
an
of stuff.
excellent line of doctors.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And we have the
Lots of
best
stuff, but
allergens suited to the allergen shots suited to the local climate. I assure you.
You know, Grace, we kind of know how this works. As I said, I found it out on my own. I've seen the best and I've seen the worst.
She begins walking towards you, looking very sad.
she gets within like reaching distance, Quentin probably would.
This is why I don't know how to play like the leader thing, because I feel like I wouldn't back away. I'd stand there and.
Quentin, you
Get
said
ready to
you
do
tell me
something.
what goes next.
All right,
She gets within
basically-
arm distance. She's walking with her arms behind her back, kind of, even though she's an actress in like her late 30s, she's got her arms behind her back. She's managed to, without any makeup change, make herself look younger, more like early 20s ish. Like, oh my God, like party girl style as she approaches you. The body language shift is just fucking abnormal. And you almost want to let her get closer to you. Like, there's something almost bewitching about her that slides past your defenses. And then you're like, nope, she's getting within arm's reach. What do you do?
Directly in front of Van-Vee, like between the two of them, there's a transparent sheet of force that just appears.
Okay.
And it's essentially just a thin wall that is.
Now, is
They
this
shouldn't be able to reach
telepathic armory?
This would be the telekinetic shoot. I forget the name of it, but essentially I can manifest like a three-dimensional object made of force. It can be see-through or visible or non-visible.
This is the same power you used to put that guy in a tube
Oh,
and burn him
okay,
alive.
So she absolutely runs headfirst into it and goes, "Ah,
That's not acting.
y'all, your captain is hurting me."
Oh dear.
Well, I suppose it's time I.
You can see
Tell
that
you
the
my real
crowd is
name.
like, oh my gosh, he just used violence. And someone's like, this is completely unacceptable. These people are barbarians. We need to cast them out. And you can openly hear people discussing, like, just use their bodies. We can add their memories to the collective. We'll figure out what they're about. And so, like, more people are just like, Yes, let's take them. We will use them. And the Graces
Ooh,
are like,
maybe.
hey, everyone, let's bring it down a little bit. Let's. The leader, Grace, is standing in front of you. She has like a red mark on her forehead. Her eyes are in very, like, partially real, partially being overhyped fake, like cry on command sort of deal. As she's like, y'all, he's hurting me. And it's so hard to keep this community together. When you oppose me like this, your partner, you bring me down in front of all of our people. They know you. Why are you
They know me.
embarrassing our family like this?
You know, if they know me, I would assume there's another one here somewhere. And I don't see anyone else here that looks like y'all. And I specifically don't say me because I've yet to tell her my real name.
That's really good. All right. I think that this is the mask off moment where like all false emotion drops from her face and the absolute psychopath comes out as she's like, okay, now that you've noticed that all of the y'alls are gone, like now it's like, okay, this discussion is now serious. And she just takes a very neutral body language just outside of the telekinetic barrier and says, yes, we eliminated the entire y'all line for disloyalty when your father left with you.
You know, at one point, I wanted to come here to understand a lot more of the details of why he left or what it was like, or where it was from. But I've learned so much since then that you tell me if this is stepping too far with this leader thing, but we've kind of come back here to, frankly, to free everyone, including you. And I don't think we have the same definition of freedom here. You're thinking of perhaps going back to one, Scarfy or something else, but I mean freeing your body and your mind.
Freeing our bodies. This is a
your
pretty
host.
free community, y'all. But if you are looking to free your body, I did create a copy specifically for you, the one who got away from us. And she gestures to the younger one who you first saw, and you can see that she's slightly different from the other Graces now that you've been here for a little while. Like, if what she's saying is true, the fact that she's 4 years younger than you would mean that she basically was born the day you left, essentially. But it seems that you would turn away from your wife, your sister, your mother. When your father had nothing, and when we were on the verge of dying, I saved all of us. Our lives, our memories. I allowed us to live in perfect youth for hundreds of years. And I look at this fragile, genetically tainted, psionic human that you bow down to and call captain. Look at this damaged specimen of lost humanity. I can't even imagine what the rest of the world looks like. What happened to him? Look at his eyes. It's hideous.
I don't think you will ever understand or appreciate the things we've done together to save humanity. I chose to partner up with him, and I acknowledge him as my leader.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever hold she has on you is broken in that moment. You've chosen your home now. It's the ship, and it's the crew.
There it is.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Wow, okay. Minerva's case, that's pretty literal, but...
Yeah.
Oh man, when your suits just sits up and says that and then sits back down. So I told you we came here to help you, but I'm starting to think it's not a help that you want, but I don't know if it's help that they all want. And I gesture to everyone else in the audience around us.
As you're gesturing, you and Quentin both notice that all of the graces are disappearing into the crowd. Only the leader that is standing before you is kind of left visible. And it's very ominous.
On your toes, Van-Vee.
I gotta say, Cap, this isn't quite going how I thought it was gonna go. I don't have a next step.
What exactly is it that you would like to negotiate, Captain, since you seem to be the one who has indoctrinated our poor lost lamb against us with this talk of
Van-Vee's his own
freedom?
man. I'd argue he's more human than you are at this very moment.
I
But
would
I'll say
argue
this.
that y'all is incredibly easy to manipulate and would follow you around like a dog.
I guess
His
you would know about
loyalty
that.
is his most charming point, I would say. It's just unfortunate that you seem to have earned it before me.
Yeah. What I do know is that there's a big question here about what you and everyone else here wants to do. And this man here's got the word as to why the question exists. And you should listen to him and think it through. And
Why?
Quentin's looking at the rest of the folks, not just her.
Why should I listen to him? He's not a member of this community anymore.
I was one of you, and I learned the truth. And I think everyone else deserves to know about that truth.
She turns and begins addressing the crowd and says, "This is the bane of the y'all line. They are so desperate to experience the outside world that they will betray the rest of us as they once did, stealing from us some of our most august members." Do
Looks
you
like you
not
got the other
remember?
8 here.
Sorry?
Looks like you still have the other 8 here, so I don't know if they were really stolen.
I mean, when you say that, she begins going up to various members of the Aid and is like, "Do you remember 2 iterations back? Your grandsire was taken by my husband. My prime stole away one whose memory should have been yours and had to go back another iteration to replay the events. Whole lines of memory have been lost to us because of y'all's betrayal."
And if you ask him how many people are here, then tell him to double it.
Wait, can I the person that she went up to first of the one of the 8?
It's Ivan.
It's Ivan, right? Do you know if your grandsire was stolen or if they went willingly? Do you even know that?
You can see a look of confusion on his face. He's looking from your helmeted head over to Grace, who seems to have no patience for this line of questioning. People here seem shocked that she has gone full mask off. Like, this must not happen very often to see her absolute naked rage. It's at this moment when Quentin is shot in the head and dies instantly. Minerva.
I think at that point I'm saying Minerva hit the button.
So here's what happens, Minerva. You watch Quentin die from a sniper rifle shot, and you watch as the pressure field around Van-Vee drops, and he is absolutely being overrun by nanomachines.
Yeah, I'm
pretty much instantly.
Yeah, I'm setting a processing point.
Hit me with that code word for the teleport out.
Is this the 3rd or 4th time we've used rewind 10 seconds when I never thought we'd need it?
Now, in order to keep time down for this repeat, Minerva has said, well, Monica now has said nothing during this whole exchange in order to lend gravity to an interruption. And just in both of your earpieces, you hear Monica say, return.
And so Quentin and Van-Vee both return to the ship. The suits remain behind, and maybe the visors flip up.
That's creepy.
The helmet of your suit, Quentin, a bullet rips through it and then hits one of the landing struts of the ship. And you get like a quick, like, beep, beep. The ship has taken hull damage.
And I'm pushing the button.
Okay.
They tried to kill a member of the crew. As far as Monica is concerned, this conversation has ended.
Okay. You watch as
Sword of Judgment begins.
within a few seconds, hundreds of people collapse to the ground and lie there. And over the external microphones, you hear them going, something is happening to them. Several of them appear to be like trembling or like twitching, rolling around. A lot of them seem to be losing like bowel control. It is absolutely frightening to watch from outside the ship. The plague of nanomachines that you unleash from your ship immediately overwhelm the semi-inactive. Like, there are a lot of nanomachines out there, but they're all reprogrammed. Like, where they might be able to defend themselves if they were original and pristine, like the ones that are coming out of your ship right now, all that programming was removed to hold someone's entire life and memories in. And so they are being overwhelmed pretty much instantly, because as soon as they get turned, they go from being inactive to one of the active ones. Like, they just become a clone or a copy of the original. And so virally, instantly, it's spreading over the colony. Like, within seconds, the air around you is filled with active mandate level nanomachines.
Now, like when we discovered that that Daddy Y'all and Uncle Y'all were both floating around in a cloud and they got like save stated in the buffer of the security device.
According to your sensors, there is exactly one active nanomachine left. It is the one that you left in quarantine inside the ship for testing. I don't know if you remember last episode, because it's like a month and a half ago. It was actually 2 episodes ago, I think. There is only one left. You have left it in quarantine inside the ship. You have no idea if there's a person in there. You've basically been torturing it for days.
But I mean, when I overwrite the programming on the dust, do I end up with quarantined data in the buffer like I did when I ended up deleting the 2 y'alls?
No.
Okay.
Just a blank slate, right? It's like you zeroed the hard drive.
It's just mandate.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't
It's just
blank
mandate
slate
dust
it.
around the planet.
The mandate dust makes all of them become mandate dust. It doesn't blank slate it. It completely wipes it and formats it and then overrides it with a copy of itself. It is a truly viral spreading.
Wonder what the difference is then between the 2 times.
I can tell you out of character, it's because y'all and other y'all had experienced stuff like this before and had created fail safes for if they were being taken out and murked. That's not a problem here because they die willingly. You know, when they hit middle age, they're like, oh, time to move to a new body.
So it doesn't, I don't know if Monica would know this. There's a medical skill specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of medical equipment.
I guess I'll try to roll a medical. I have no ranks in it, so it's what? Minus one?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it's fortunate that you have a doctor on board, like a former 20-year practicing doc. Oh, you murdered people in front of her and she left.
She's running our special operation force.
She wasn't super satisfied with immolating a man in revenge.
You do what you got to do. What?
This is a bad situation. You're not really sure medically what's happening, but the loss of like bladder control and the foaming, the twitching, the inarticulateness, you're not sure.
Seems like
Quentin
they're all
has the
having
ability to
seizures.
stabilize people, but like,
Well, here's
Medically,
the thing, though, right?
they're stable. They're not
Okay.
dying.
There's just
Okay,
no
that's good to know.
like. I
no
mean,
response. No.
Are they attempting to breathe, or are they not even bothering?
I
the
think
effort?
when you ask that specifically, what you're seeing are a bunch of bodies that are only doing autonomic muscle control. They breathe, their heart beats. The people in control of these bodies have never spoken before. They've never moved their arm muscles. They are essentially babies with lifelong memories.
Oh boy.
So
But
the
they're
difference
not
between
dead.
what happened to them and what happened to Van-Vee is Van-Vee
merged.
rolled a
Integration, yeah.
20 for the integration. So he skipped this phase. And if you go back and you watch that episode, you'll watch me being like, calculations, motherfucker.
Did any of these folks roll really well?
No, there was
The
no
grace right up front.
No, the integration that happened between the two of them happened because they were in the human
Neural interface thing.
Yeah, human interface
yeah.
device. This
And we
you
didn't merge
completely
anything. We deleted
eliminated
it.
the thing controlling the bodies. Now it's something that's never done anything before.
I'm just saying maybe one of them would pay
Sorry,
more
I'm getting
attention.
worked up. So here's the baseline. You are now responsible for the lives of hundreds of human beings who are literally unable to care for themselves. And you have a
Yeah.
ship that is full of people already. You are maxed out on crew space, oxygen, food, heat,
Yep.
all of it, completely tapped out because you got 2 hamsters with you.
Yeah.
Right. So here's my thought.
You have no doctor, you have no medic, and hundreds of people will die in the next 3 days if you don't regularly give them all water and basic medical care.
It's like we just
So
But
so
hey, you just
Yeah.
killed 600 plus people for sure.
okay, so that's our number, like 600 something.
That's more like 800, but you can
Okay,
only see
all right, we'll
600
take that.
visually.
Looking around here, do
Oh,
we
that
have
makes me feel
any
better.
buildings that would seem appropriate to house these types of people? Medical facilities. and
Surprisingly,
convention
there
doctors,
is
yeah.
advanced mandate
Right.
level medical facilities. They
Fantastic.
absolutely cannot handle the entire community
Of course.
being paralyzed at the same time.
Of course.
okay, so Monica says once you guys are back on board, the
Waldos we
reprogramming
got.
the reprogramming is complete.
Oh,
The both of you seem to be unaffected.
that's good.
so
Simulations dictated a 95% chance of an ambush resulting in your deaths or capture.
well. I guess once again, thank you for not allowing us to die. But that looks a bit extreme. What down there? What can we help them? Can we go help them? Can we open our?
We
suits
got some
now?
work to do.
It's safe
with
to open
that.
the suits, right?
It is now.
Can I look down and see? Is the Grace there? The younger Grace?
Mhm.
Same state.
Yeah.
They will all need some sort of care. It seems like without merging with with an existence that was accustomed to the operation of the body, I don't know what the host body even knows or does not know how to do, but they are breathing and alive.
Great. There was a consciousness in there, Van-Vee, when you spoke to it. It just didn't realize that you could. It could talk, right? Like, well, I don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Vandorn learned from Van-Vee.
All right. How many earbuds or things we got? How many MINERVAs can we get whispering in some ears to start coaching some folks? Let's get some.
While this is happening, Van-Vee, you can see the captain is directing people around. All you can think about is the fact that the electronic display in the cockpit has detected that there are 2 weapons out there. One is the 3 Graces who are on a nearby roof who have set up an anti-material rifle. The second is that the one you were speaking to, the leader one that has fallen essentially next to where the suits are, she was hiding a Mandate era stealth material, like radar resistant material, knife behind her back, and she was moving towards you to stab you with it. If that telekinetic barrier had not been in the way, she would have torn your suit.
Well, I guess, for all that pleading she did for taking care of the wife, she was not about to take care of husband, son, whatever you call it. I guess I should be thanking you as well, Cap, not only for getting us here, but saved my life again.
Hey, man, anytime.
There are other lives that need saving now.
That's right.
Iena shows up on the bridge. She's wearing a full containment suit and has like a medic's pack.
Ready, Ono?
I imagine it's like the scene with the doctor in Firefly where he shows up and everybody's like up there, like not wearing anything. And Jade's like, come on. Okay, so she shows up there really awkwardly and she's like, sorry, Cap, I want to believe you, but I think I'll just keep the suit on for a minute, okay?
An abundance of caution around us is warranted. I appreciate it, Ellen.
Minerva, you're sure they're okay, right?
All of the nano machines in the area have been reprogrammed to monitor only.
Okay, and we're sure Minerva's okay?
Monica.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I probably would not have made that mistake. I, Ono Kanto, am not like the game master.
You probably only made it because I've made it like 6 times
Right,
in
no,
this
same.
episode already.
I was like, I just remembered.
It's the overlay.
Honestly, when Kain said Monica, I was like, who the fuck? Oh, shit.
Yeah, Monica. She's Minerva, but from the West Coast. She's from California. She wanted to be an actress in Los Angeles.
She's about 4 years younger, better looking, got the flirty girl hair going too.
My God. Jesus Christ. Dude,
Took a page out of Grace's
what
book.
What happened to you today, man? Holy shit.
Beautiful.
I took a page out of Grace's book.
Oh, man.
All right. I hate to do this 2 nights in a row, but I just have to imagine Semisonic's closing time is playing in like a minor key nostalgia Western piano, like Ghostbusters trailer from like 2018, or the one before that, the Jurassic Park trailer, piano only minor key, like that style, but closing time. As you move around and get these people into the medical facility where the medical computers here, like patch them up, get them an IV line, make sure that they have all their vital nutrients. But according to these devices, except for like loss of voluntary muscle control, they are medically in better shape than the 2 of you.
Right. Quentin would consult his shadow at some point and say, hey, can you, is there anything going on in there? What do you, any insight?
What do you wish?
Aware?
Be careful what knowledge you get. That thing.
Yeah, exactly. He just wants to know if the shadow can, are they aware inside? Are they aware of their surroundings? Are they currently, what level of panic is this consciousness happening?
Your shadow, Peter Pants, like its connection to your feet lifts off, and you see the shadow of you like floating around you while squatting. And it says, oh, they know everything that's going on. They know everything, and they're afraid. They know that they're going to die. You can hear, I mean, it's a shadow, right? You can't see it smelling, but you can hear it breathing something in.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't exist here. It's breathing something in the meta dimension around it. And it seems to be reveling in the fear.
Right.
You gotta get your shadow.
Well, so here's what I would like to do. We've got the drone. We've got both armatures. We have a handful of people trying to do what we can to
save as many as we can.
On the physical side, trying to make sure that we're keeping as many people alive as possible. And I would like to use my cognitive boost to auto succeed on a no check, to put together I think that the short way I can think to describe it is like putting earbuds in them and splitting
what
myself.
I was
So I have
thinking,
one
yeah.
committed to each person
Exactly.
to sort of like coach
Personal trainer.
like personal trainer to coach and teach them how to like try to encourage them to use their bodily functions.
This is basically occupational therapy.
Literally, yeah.
How long are you all willing to commit to this to save these
Well,
people's
here was the
lives?
other part of the plan that I was thinking we should consider, which is now, Monica, I don't know how much support you need through this process, but here's the thing that we could do as well. It's Van-Vee and I, we've gotten here once. We can get back to the quarantine zone and we can announce that the quarantine's no longer necessary.
That is
And mount a rescue mission, or we can go through the perimeter agency, I guess. You know, we can try to get some more. We can try to get some more resources, you know, here. But the one thing that comes to mind is proof and evidence that the quarantine zone's no longer necessary.
I have a feeling that there is but a single ship in the quarantine that will treat us favorably and agree to anything that you have.
Fair enough.
Does anyone know? If only we knew where Johnson was.
Just to be very clear, the people here will die of dehydration in the time it takes you to get back to the quarantine.
My thought was that Monica would say to take care of them
I see.
in that time frame, and that we could get them out. Then, depending on exactly the answer to your question, which is how long does this take, and how long are we willing to wait?
Monica, being the type of being that it is committed to staying here as long as it takes to nurse them back to being able to walk around and take care of themselves.
Months to teach these people how to walk, how to eat.
So that's where I'm thinking we could try to get some more resources to come back and, you know.
I also am not keen on being trapped here.
Fair.
When you get destroyed by the quarantine.
In the back of my head, I'm thinking we just removed the nanomite control, and now we just put an AI in control.
Ain't wrong.
Granted, it's an AI we trust, but
Now, importantly, I'm not trying to write a program to push through all of these nanites. Okay, like
yeah, but it's just, you know, big picture.
So I'm not. I want to teach, encourage, and help. I don't want to puppet their bodies and like wean them off of it. I don't want to take that away from them.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I appreciate the help you guys have given, and I think I would take it as much as you're willing to stay, but I feel responsible for this. I mean,
oh, absolutely. We have to help these people.
Of course, hitting the freedom button, so to speak, I didn't think it would be this drastic, but now that it is in this state, I mean, I gotta stick around until I can get these people back up on their feet again, like literally. And heck, I don't even know what they're gonna want to do once they're back. Do they like it here? I mean, is there someplace else they'd rather go?
When they're able to communicate for themselves,
yeah,
we will see what they remember and what they wish to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is kind of the biggest save you could say we've had yet. I mean, we say people didn't even know they needed saving. These people aren't, you know, don't know how to drink water, so to speak. Don't know how to do anything.
Vandorn,
our responsibility at this point, 100%. Ain't nobody else.
Vandorn was aware of the actions that you were taking.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, I guess
he didn't always agree with them either. So we'll find out who these people are.
Flashback to the axe coming down and stopping.
So yeah, that's my plan. Monica is committed to staying here for months to help rehabilitate these people.
Okay. The screen goes black as the music fades into the background. And then, shockingly, like out of nowhere, 9 months later, in sort of grayish white text here. And talking is beyond any of these people. But while they may not be able to fine motor control their mouths, tongues, throats, all the things necessary to speak, typing is entirely within them, and they have full knowledge of language. I mean, they were not unaware while they learned everything that everyone else learned. So a very strange series of communications where people carry around data pads and communicate with each other by typing it out and then having a voice to text speak for them has evolved in this colony, as most of them are capable of some level of autonomously controlling themselves and help out to help the rest of them. A strange sort of political hierarchy has grown up. Some of them want to adopt the identities of the people who they once were. Especially all of the former Graces. Somehow all want to be Grace again and are stung that you have taken it from them. It would seem that even without the direct memories, something deeply ancestral and primal in them gives them a sort of driving psychopathic will to dominate others. However, no one else is afraid of them or has been instilled with a psychological terror of them at a genetic level. So they're basically just like a mean girl clique that sits by themselves now.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how much it affects anything or not, but like Monica did, like I run the extra the boosted split processing, and every single person that we are rehabilitating has a Monica available to them.
Yeah.
And I share nothing of the treatment or anything that they talk about with any of the others or the crew. It's entirely like private assistant type thing.
You're HIPAA compliant.
Yeah.
I guess, but Monica doesn't try to preach to them or tell them how to think. It's just trying to help them be able to articulate their own thoughts and control their own body and give them independence.
Some of the people here want to stay here. This is the only life they've literally ever known. And many of them share the Greek allegory of the shadows on the walls. If you left the cave and then come back and told someone about it, which the Y'all has returned from afar, they're not sure that they can barely adjust to living the lives they once had. The idea of entering into a greater galaxy of war, terrorism, robots, psionic assassins, like nuclear attacks, like that is all for people who've had no control over their lives but still had peace. The idea of the extreme violence you people encounter on a daily basis is so far beyond them. Even the idea of space travel, many of the folks here have never been to the surface of this planet, which is perfectly habitable. It is a jungle pleasure world up there. Why they stay down here is a mystery. Some want to go out into the galaxy immediately and find their fortune. Many who have some form of Y'all memory, like at some point during their series of reincarnations, briefly inhabited a Y'all body, express a want to explore the unknown. The idea that Van-Vee has found these charts like turns them off immediately until they hear that there's some sort of jump gates to new empires out there, and they're like, you know, I may not know much about being a veterinarian, but I think there's a lot I can do as someone who bridges the gap between stars. And somebody else is just like, you're right. There's still a little Y'all in all of us. The other faction is a group of people who want to just kind of go with the flow. They only care about being alive, and they are pushing for reclaiming the device and the building that is housed that allows them to print new bodies and transfer memories to them. They essentially want to keep that program back up. Like now that they are in control, they want their consciousness to be the one that passes things along. Now, interestingly, the Graces are not in that group. They appear to have abandoned the body transfer program altogether. But probably at least a third of these 800 people want to live forever now that they are the ones that will be doing the living.
Is that actually plausible, the technology? I thought it was dust based, but like they can actually grow the body and do the thing here, or they
Would you like to investigate and find out the dark
if we've been here for
malware
9
science?
months, we 100% have been investigating.
I just want to say, Quentin, this is literally one of those things that once you know it, you can't unknow it. If you know the science behind this, the temptation to use it yourself will never leave you. The idea that you might never die, are you sure you want to go into this building?
Monica, well, there'll probably be a conversation with Monica.
Yeah, I mean,
guess
for
because
sure,
Monica has
group
locked
effort.
down that facility.
I think this
Well,
is
okay.
the last scene.
It has
Period.
tier 3 leader.
End of
Beautiful.
story. It's just the three of you together deciding the fate of these people, this world, and the entire crew here is the decision as to whether or not to go into this building and learn how to use it, or to keep it locked or destroyed forever.
Well,
I think that
Well,
Monica would need to be wrapped into this because Monica feels like there is no discussion.
well, you know, Monica, you've locked down the building that seems to have the keys to repeat what's happened here, and I would argue that is the one situation that we can't leave it as, because what's to say another Monica doesn't come around that, you know, isn't as trusting as you and does unlock it. So I think either we make the executive decision to get rid of it, or we let these folks have their technology back. And I say these folks, but I guess my folks, I don't know. To me, those are the two choices. Leaving it locked up just feels like asking for trouble later. And maybe, you know, the next round of us isn't as, well,
Ethical questions here. I mean, you know, but it's a hard call. And a whole lot of misery has come out of that building. And there's no lie about that. But, you know,
This
I mean,
seems to be a curious consideration.
what did you think, Monica?
I don't believe that any human should understand this technology.
Did you say human on purpose? Like you want?
I'm unsure if even I should know it. I
Fair
have
enough.
not decided that. But I do believe that no human should know it.
What I
At the
can
very
see-
least, there is no
We've kind of already
temptation for me.
experienced that type of technology, haven't we? The human interface device, in many ways, is that exact thing.
Hmm.
I'm wondering
There's
if
a
we would have had
difference.
this conversation like early on, not 9 months in, because I feel like this is this is asking for trouble having it 9 months in to be like, oh yeah,
Wherever
we'll leave
it
it.
takes place in the timeline, it's still
Yeah.
the last scene of the series.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's an easy choice or even there's a good one here, but there's definitely arguably good uses of the concept, if nothing else. Somebody wants
Please.
quadriplegic, they might want to be able to walk again.
Please tell me the situation where you think enslaving another being for the benefit of
I'm sorry, I don't think we're using dust for this. That was my understanding of this. That this was purely a consciousness transfer from one body to another, not dust or overriding a personality specifically. This was like
Don't
The
know
dust-
that until you
exactly
open the
that. Like
facility.
that's just it.
The dust
I don't know
is-
what this is. If you're right,
Captain,
this is like
the
what
dust
we're describing
is-
and what we've already seen,
I-
then obviously that's a no-go. We're not going to be down for subjugation from that
Captain,
perspective. That's
the
clear.
dust is an integral part, as far as I understand.
Well, then there's no
of
point. Because
capsulizing
we've already
the
erased all the
personality
dust,
and-
right? Then there's no danger because they won't be able to get this thing back up and running.
As you're
Remember,
saying
these
that,
are the
Quentin,
people that set it up in the first place. You understand that?
You're
The
saying
racists
that
are the ones that did it.
in the background of your mind, Quentin, you can hear a voice telling you that one day you too will die.
Quentin has accepted that many times. He is not someone who is on the quest for immortality by that measure. This is from his perspective.
So many people that you've met in this campaign so far, desperate for it, and you're like, nah, fuck it, man, I'm gonna die.
You know what we should do?
He's how close to it has he come at every step of this journey for him? He's accepted that it's almost inevitable, even if you have a way out.
Let's just go give it to our best friend Carlito. I'm sure he's a good guy, right?
Oh,
we seem to give everything else to him.
No.
But, no matter if you grow a body and you transfer another mind to it, I mean, regardless of the details of the process that I'm unaware of, I have not studied it. The bodies end up the way we have here. These people who have been enslaved and trapped, the reason we came here and rescued them from this process, suggesting that we allow this process to start again, it would be the same as if we had never come here and freed these people.
Oh, no, I'm not suggesting we allow the process to start again by any means. If it would be the same or if it has any of those same connotations, then blow the damn thing up and it's over. That's all suggestion is we understand.
How do we know that these bodies that are grown now using dust, they come with a today we know they come with a consciousness that takes a back seat when the dust takes over. In that process, is there a way to make them not come with consciousness? Like, I'm trying to think. Y'all ever see that movie a long time ago, Avatar, where they grow the bodies and then they just use the interface to control the body, but the body itself doesn't have anything. No,
the shadow goes, I thought it was about a girl becoming the moon.
So you wish to create humans and murder them at the beginning of their existence.
I think the question was more, would they be humans based off of the result of the process that they're going through? We don't know. But again, if that's the case, blow it up.
I guess what's the difference between growing a new organ versus growing the whole body?
That's the whole thing, yeah.
Somewhere out there, vision in the ship of Theseus, rise from the ashes.
It's a question of the soul.
Well, I thought if we remove the dust part from it, it would just be an empty host, not a host with no control.
Quentin,
The dust
you hear
was not
something
your
whisper
soul.
in your ear that says, it's easy for the soulless to talk about having a soul. Much harder to live it.
Yeah.
Do you say that out loud that no one could hear the first part, but you say yeah?
No.
That would be so awesome.
That's no.
Yes.
No, it's just funny. Monica, it's not a matter of the soul in that way. The metadimensional energy that we are, the patterns in static that we make us up, and the mists we fade in and out of. Is that what this process is involved in? Are they taking that pattern and are they duplicating it? Is it a transfer one-to-one? Is it gone in the first place and there in a second? They're just questions that I have. And I love questions and I want the answers. I can't help it. I can't help that. But again, if this is what it was and that's all it can ever be, then destroy it. It should not be. I agree.
Downloading, creating a copy.
Nope, no copies. We don't want copies. Either destroy it or unlock it.
Well, there's the question that some of these people have had about achieving immortality through the means that we have just eliminated in their bodies, correct?
You have the key to the door. All I'm saying is we have these questions. The only answer's on the other side. So either we blow it up and we never get the answer, or we get an answer and we make an informed choice. I don't know. That's that real question for me.
What do you think humanity will do with the answers to these questions?
What do you think another AI is going to do?
I know what I would do. I don't know what another would do.
I don't know what another would do either, and that's what scares me.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more and more towards the blow it up side, but I gotta be honest, that honestly feels like just delaying it before someone else figures it out. But you know
Keeps
what?
the dust, then yeah.
Maybe we've severely delayed it by neutralizing the dust, and now that whoever that someone is has to find another way around it.
Well, we can leave this one in the dark and
Like, can you imagine what's his name got a hold of this Jace or whatever the hell his name was?
Jace?
Is that it? Is Jason the
No,
guy?
Dr.
It is
Rose, who you're
Bronwyn.
thinking of.
You mean Dr. Roe Piscadarian?
Oh God, yeah, him too.
Hey,
It's not natural. I
It's
don't.
not natural.
I think we should hit the delete button. But I don't want no copies. Just see you later. Goodbye.
all right. Good
They-
enough for me.
The putting the mind of one into another body for any reason, to me, would be the same as installing. It would be the same as if I took control of those bodies.
The same as
I don't
your
know how to
AI
say it,
controlling two
Monica.
different armatures.
Sounds an awful
That's
lot
the
like
definition of your
fairy.
existence.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
You mean like an AI controlling two armatures at once, or maybe 1,000 earbuds at once?
Oh
but
boy.
that armature never had a soul, and it's not a being that I suppress.
And that would be the point, is if it was, then obviously it's unethical. If it isn't, then it's not. That's the only question we have. I don't know what the answer is on the other side of that door, but if y'all are not
Van-Vee
interested in the answer and we feel that fear, we should say goodnight to it.
is
Blow it up.
seriously wondering how Monica defines or knows what it is to have a soul. Like how, because in all of the discussions, how could Monica know compared to what Quentin and Van-Vee have gone through? But he doesn't say any of this. You can just see, like, when you say that part, he just kind of stares at whatever you have present for this conversation.
What I think is great is that Monica is the only member of this team that has taken the sacraments of Christ. So she's the only one here.
Monica's
who-
technically the only one that kind of already got the benefit of this thing that we're looking at as well, right? Like,
Like, whether it is a machine or a copy of a person that is now no longer that person, the unnatural control of a body is a suppressing of a soul and a life. It's why I have no interest in using this technology. It is a crime against the children of God.
hey, I don't think anyone is disagreeing that we should not be, stealing the bodies from the existing consciousnesses.
Where's the blow it up button?
I can dismantle and destroy it.
Yeah, like I don't want it like deleted. I want it like blown up. That building gone. See you later. Doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, my idea of destruction would be dismantling it to transportable pieces and launching it into the sun.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
We cut back to Semisonic's closing time fading in very briefly as we watch a salvage ship's salvager arm, like a baseball pitcher, throwing pieces from its cargo hold into the sun one by one. We cut to 2 weeks later when that same ship arrives out of drill space into the quarantine zone and is immediately ambushed by Phenomena Fleet Systems, by the wonderful Glory to Kalanom, which they helped free, by several free merchant traders, all of whom are operating at the highest level of contain and kill orders, as just drop ships full of Marines are launched immediately.
Do we have to go back through the quarantine
Yeah,
zone?
we have options. We could go back to Lita.
No matter
Can't we
where,
just-
I just want to be clear, no matter
Oh, wait, no, it
which
doesn't matter.
star system you arrive in, everyone immediately launches kill orders on you. And I don't mean like they're going to kill you. They try to destroy the ship's engines and stop you from being able to go anywhere as soon as possible.
Okay.
The final epilogue scene is all of you gathered in a somewhat familiar looking room with like several chairs. Minerva's
Typical
core
game.
is inside a quarantine box that has an external camera and like a typing thing so that you can see that she's putting text on it. And Johnson enters the room. He does the cool kid thing where he spins the chair down backwards and he says, Well, so you guys broke into our security system. You've been causing all kinds of problems, and the only thing every world government can agree on is that you're the biggest threat. I don't know where you've been for the last year. Last I heard, you were jumping to that star system looking to excavate it, and I guess somebody briefly picked you up on scanners refueling about, what, 9.5 months ago? But it turns out that Perimeter Agency can get a lot of power by enticing all of the governments towards a common enemy. And I gotta tell you, rather than look at war across the whole sector, saying there's this renegade AI that broke the gravity paneling laws and absolutely murdered a human, and the captain was complicit in it, according to a crew member's onboard testimony, which was left off during the refueling process and delivered to us by Phenomena Fleet Systems. You guys are all guilty of the malware accords. That's death. He drums his fingers on the table and just leaves that in the air. And that's where we're going to end. I'll note that he didn't kill you.
Yeah.
We're going to leave this. I just want to leave the door open to a future one-shot. If, like, next winter, we're like, hey, what if we finished, the Psionic Academy, the shamans, all of the trouble we caused, but
go to one of the zombie planets or prisons.
Oh my god. The zombie planets. Man, I might be...
We become perimeter agents, and they get different names, and Monica just starts going by Monica to be a different AI.
You've already been perimeter agents for almost the entire campaign.
Right. But not even in a subtle way, but in we totally know we're on the payroll now. You know what I mean?
You get badges and you wear suits. You already have secret code name check-ins for code authentication.
That's true.
Quentin has used at least twice.
I would have loved...
Breaking into the perimeter agency security system.
You sent him a message saying, hey, we accidentally broke into your system.
Okay, so...
Which you never fessed to.
Didn't tell us about, by the way, so we don't know about that.
You can imagine when he said that, we just looked at you like, what?
Minerva was very specific about that message.
Yeah. I agree.
In order to try to be like, hey, nobody else knows, not even the crew knows. Yeah. It was an accidental scanning.
They've had about 11 months to think about how you easily broke into the most secure communications network in human history and left them a taunting message. From their point of view. From their point of view!
That's
sure.
That happened.
And then, 2 months later, they got a report from Iono Kanto saying that Minerva's gone absolutely insane and murdered a guy using gravity paneling.
But that's not what happened.
That also happened.
That happened.
I did ask you not to.
No. I pinned them to the deck, and
you are aware that
Van-Vee killed him.
You are aware that using gravity as a weapon. Yes.
Technically, that is enough.
Yeah, but Minerva did not kill anybody with the grav plating. Minerva disabled people with the grav plating.
Oh, sorry. It was so you were part of an execution, which, as we know. Being
accessory to murder.
Yeah, as you know,
not
accessory to murder, which carries the exact same penalty as murder.
Sure. But it's an important distinction to Minerva.
Yeah, Minerva can have that distinction. You're currently an alpha level threat to the perimeter agency. 100%. Unfortunately, Johnson likes you guys.
I think it would have been really...
We have caused so many problems, but we have solved so many problems for the perimeter agency too.
Yeah.
I have loved the idea for literally 6 months now that you guys would come back and it would literally just be like Johnson has twisted everyone against you to make you the threat that stops the war by saying you have to stop rearming against each other and start rearming because there's a crazed AI out there. We keep warning you, there's a crazed AI out there. Well, it created an even more crazed AI named MINERVA, and it's out there killing people with gravity weapons. And who knows what crazy scientists it's been talking to. It's stolen a ship and turned the human crew against the human race. And now they could have anything from beyond the stars. Who knows what forbidden technology they've brought back from the dark. And so while you've been gone, everyone else has been building up warships, and there's no longer the Federated Principality versus Phenomena Fleet Systems. They're tight as fuck. They're like, oh man, we were building this battleship to kill you guys, but if you could give us that data, we're going to use it to make the battleship better so that we can bombard the evil AI's planet.
Oh my god! And they all have those structural flaws.
True.
It's really funny.
mean,
They
At
have
any time.
perfectly flawed designs, and I never had the chance to tell them, and I guess I won't now.
I think it would have been. I was just picturing in my head when Johnson sat us down and was talking, like as soon as he finished, if we were like, you're right. I don't disagree with anything you said. However, you are wrong about one thing. We came here to tell you that you don't need this zone anymore, and that's it. And then we're leaving, and you're never going to see us again. And drop a hint, like, oh yeah, we're gonna figure out how to, we figured out how to leave Cress Wayside.
Teleports all
power
of
the
us
gate,
to the
and then
glory
we
of
just
Calenham, where
bamf
he hits
and
that.
disappear.
So he can
Just
do
to be
that.
clear, the glory of Calenham is against you guys.
Right? Well, but we can take it over. We can do that.
Okay.
But there are plenty of things that Monica
have no
could do
plan. We're locked
that
in
it
a
will
dungeon.
not do.
You're the only one with the ability for
Game
psionic
over.
assassins.
I like
Not
the
that we're
idea
gonna use
that
them.
Quentin believes that they are absolutely not going to be using blue deck countercasters to stop him at all times. He's like, I'll just teleport away. I'm like, I don't think so.
I mean, if there's no one physically in the room with eyes on him, they can't technically stop him.
Right. So what they do is they say,
Johnson's
if
a
you
psychic.
teleport away, Quentin, we'll blow up your ship with Van-Vee and MINERVA and Iono on it.
They're just gonna murder people.
And
No,
then
obviously we are
once they get a
captured.
counter psychic
AP,
in the
we are
room with
very
you,
captured. It is.
they just
very
leave a
clear.
counter psychic with you all the time.
Wait, have we absolutely annihilated Iono's life? Is she wrapped in as a brainwashed traitor?
She reported us, so technically
She
should
reported you guys. Yeah, absolutely. She's
fine.
Right, but
She's
she,
been
planning to
acting
murder her
cool, but
because
she's
they'll
been
murder
afraid
me.
of Minerva Monica for months.
oh sure, absolutely. But now that she went to the quarantine with us and came back after her report, and there was the whole thing about I took over the crew and I've converted them as my weapons against humanity.
No. That's just what Johnson's been saying to make everybody else afraid.
right.
Iono
But
didn't
is
say
Iono-
any of that shit. Johnson just made it up.
But is Iono included in those rumors that Johnson's spreading?
See, here's the thing. Johnson doesn't run Phenomena Fleet Systems. You know what I mean?
Right.
Iono is not mentioned in his reports, just in case he
Okay.
needs to remove her or add her at a later date. The dangerous members of the crew members are the ones the AI has turned, Quentin and Van-Vee. There's an insider, a mysterious insider on the ship, unnamed, who's been feeding information back to the world governments.
God damn it, Hamtaro too.
Hamtaro animorphs back into a human and goes, that's right, it was me all along. And actually, I'm a shadow.
It was me, Hamtaro.
He says, it's Hamtaro time, and then he starts hamming.
Oh my god, too funny. I like to think even after it's very obvious that Iono is the one that submitted a lot of this. When we're finished with the briefing or whatever it is, we're just like, okay, all right, Iono, let's go. We're still okay, yeah, you're with us. We're leaving now. She'd be like, wait, what? Even still?
Well, friends.
And it's also a little ironic that now that we're back with the Perimeter Agency, Minerva's whole fear of getting a cyber psychologist from anywhere is that Minerva knows about the Perimeter Agency and the Monitor doesn't allow it to choose not to think things.
Yeah. And
So
the first thing
Minerva-
you're going to think about is don't think about the Perimeter Agency.
Exactly. Oh God, don't think about the elephant. But now that we're here, Minerva's could totally, very gladly be I would like to have a cyber psychologist. If it's one of yours, then they're your secrets anyways,
Incredible.
Which is so funny.
Maybe we'll find out in the future if we can get this group back together. Congratulations on making it to the end of the campaign. You have a moral victory for sure. You've managed to
18
elude
XP?
all of my... Oh, yes, you do. Yes, of course. You've managed to elude all of my moral traps, and in the end, you chose to destroy the very device that caused the problems that kicked all of this genocide into place in the first way. Anything you all want to say to the audience, to yourselves, to each other? Any questions you have?
A weird, fun journey.
Yeah, absolutely. This is
here we are.
a wild ride that I think we all kind of agree at the beginning we wanted to try to be the good guys, and as a weird way of doing it, I think we stuck to it, just compromising here and there. But in the end, I think it was always for the greater good.
I want to be clear that this is a weird, fucked up, morally gray universe full of
It was hard.
immortal vampires with numerous ways of staying alive that were like, hey, can I tempt you to do bad stuff for me?
This was a ride for sure. And we found, I do think that in every opportunity we had to become the baddies, like on a sector scale, I think we managed to not do those, but every other opportunity to do something awful, we accidentally probably did.
It's incredible the number of people who had positive feelings toward you. Just regular average people that you managed to piss off on a regular basis.
Like, my God, the things that we did. Oh,
So I appreciate you giving me a very unique character, because when we started, I was like, I'm with a psychic and an AI, and I'm a normal human. Little did I know, I'm not a normal human.
I mean,
I would disagree with that. I feel like you were a pretty normal human being in the end.
In the end, it was just the middle part.
Yeah, for sure. Plenty of tragedy.
Oh,
A little bit of
Carlito.
We did our best.
I don't like the idea to think that he might still be around with my mom.
He's
My other mom.
He's absolutely fucking your stepmom for sure.
I don't like it.
100%.
I don't like it.
Yeah. He is starting a drug empire with her shipping assets for sure. Like a totally legitimate drug empire as well. And he uses his relationship with all of you to be like, oh,
Pharmaceutical.
those total
right.
badasses, the loose cannon psychic, the incredible super navigator, and the freaky AI. Yeah, those people,
Bros.
I got them their first ship job. You know, I'm their boss, actually.
And in the room next door is poor Zach crying.
How my agents
because
doing?
I
They
flunked
keeping an
him.
eye on him?
You wanna see some of my assets? Do you know who my allies are?
Yeah.
He killed people for you. Now,
He
did
did.
it make him the sole leader of a 3-part criminal syndicate?
It's a mutually
Yes.
beneficial arrangement.
Did he
100%.
inherit hundreds of psionics desperate for a new life, fleeing persecution everywhere? Yeah, sure. But he did put his neck on the... There's no way he could have known that he would become the sole kingpin Don with the hot wife and a new cool family with like
Carlito
a
saw his future.
cool stepson.
He's a partial psychic, partial warrior. We know it. Yeah.
Partial psychic. This man, 100% expert only, specialist in pharmaceuticals.
The joke
in
was that
leadership.
he had precognition, but
He
yes.
doesn't have precognition, but boy, he is a smart one for sure.
He hedged his bets, made an investment in one super
Yes.
hard.
Mhm.
Yeah. For a
That's
guy I
good.
introduced as a
That's
really
good.
petty, violent thug drug dealer in episode
Oh.
1, you have truly dragged him to an entirely new level of life.
That's us in a nutshell.
You just got me thinking, like, poor Zach, after we intentionally flunked him,
Yeah.
is probably going to become like a big druggie.
But
I mean,
remember,
I feel like he's going to become a medic on one of those drug ships. You know what I
I hope
mean?
he does.
Not
I hope he
dealing
does.
We keep
drugs,
saying
but
drugs,
literally
but it's pharmaceuticals.
sure,
Remember-
pharmaceuticals,
remember
illegal
you-
pharmaceuticals.
I mean, you intentionally failed
Which are
him.
called drugs.
But as far as he's concerned, the last contact he had with you was a very encouraging email with some textbooks to study up for his next test.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
No.
Yeah, but
He's just getting some practical experience from his stepdad, hauling mysterious large shipping containers that the rest of the crew, who are all burly, tattooed men, tell him not to look inside. And he looks the other way when the charity deliveries of the orphan juice go to strange ports of call, bypassing tax collection.
I see no problems.
Oh boy, I think it'd be better if Van-Vee just like bamfed out of Cress Wayside. Let's go to someplace else to terrorize.
Well, you know,
Just like your dad.
Yeah, well, even bigger.
Let's
It was
navigate
very-
somewhere new no one's ever been to.
It was super, super tempting to leave.
we
the
happen to
Imago
know where
Day
a
to go
couple
to Earth.
came from.
Believe what?
It was super, super tempting to leave with the other Imago Day and go to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there living their best Space Marine 2 life. And here you
Yeah.
are helping people get medically rehabilitated. You truly chose the path of the hospitaller.
That's what Minerva wanted to do.
Last thing I'll say is I think we had a really good group dynamic, like as a foursome. I almost said threesome, but got to include the DM, right? So
Oh,
foursome.
thank God I'm still here. It was a real Solaris Knights reunion show, and it showed.
Yeah,
True.
it was nice that we were all already comfortable with each other, so we were able to just like hop right in and and have a good time. I really
Enjoyed
enjoyed
the
this.
sandbox.
No doubt.
Enjoy racking up an unending list of consequences to our actions.
That's a good way to put it.
I guess. I honestly think you guys did very well. I mean, yes, you did end up arrested by Johnson in the end, but, you know,
He left the key on the desk.
his whole thing was watching you the entire time and every time you communicated with him, you were like, oh, hey, we found this new AI threat and we already solved it for you. Like half the stuff you did, he was like, damn it, we need a new agent out there. We need fresh blood, new eyes on the problem. And you guys are like, here's a problem. We didn't just bring you a solution. We finished the
We've already
solution.
solved
Executed it.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
hey, so we found a thing. Here's the after action report.
acquiring you guys became his top priority.
Mm-hmm.
And we just came back after getting rid of Alpha and dealing with the
What other threats
quarantine
does he
zone.
have? We'll find out someday.
It's the
maybe.
perimeter agency. If they don't have threats, they'll make them. I'll remind you, that's literally what
they
he
already
just
did,
told
yes.
you. He's making you the threat.
Yeah. It would be
Just-
interesting. I mean, we don't know, but it would be interesting if that quarantine zone, like if it like added to the dangers of the quarantine zone, they declared that Minerva has made home out there. So now they have to watch against an AI trying to invade the quarantine.
Give them purpose.
My notes say that what Johnson wants is for you guys to go to the Gemini cluster and stay there with no maps back or forth. And like he'll never bother you. But the rumor that they're like Kerensky's lost fleet, the clans beyond the edge of the inner sphere, they just used the threat of your super fleet of battleships, of AI battleships and psychic assassins arriving from beyond the edge of space. That's going to lead for an entire generation. His son is going to inherit that story. And that's going to be his go-to for why everyone in the sector should listen to him.
So much funding he's gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. You know how it is. And anytime people get lazy, he'll just release, you know, like, oh, a ship was spotted, you know, and look at these mysterious markings. Is that Captain Quentin on the bridge?
Wait a minute, those look like double heat sinks.
My God, could it be the clans returned from beyond?
I think Van-Vee would be okay with that because then I could bring my family with me and leave Carlito behind.
That would be an awesome like, hey, we're totally cool with being this rumor, but on the way out, because of the things that we did, would you mind kidnapping my family?
Oh my God, kidnapping!
so that they could, we could all just arrive victims of an unknown force and live out our best life somewhere else.
This is a possible dream for a half-formed one-shot in the future if we even want to come back to it.
Heck, you could even start your own psychic academy out there too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is where the
That was
Psychic
the point.
Academy is.
Yeah.
Physically, a Psionic Academy is located there.
It's a little tough if you're a mysterious force out there.
Monica's super happy to be stuck out there for a while at least.
This guy's thinking 600 years in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to think that way. I'm playing an AI.
Well, guys, it was great to have you. Amazing adventure we went on. It went on about twice as many episodes as we thought. The beginning only started at the end. You solved the beginning storyline in one episode when you blew up the AI immediately with just immediate
It was
Monica
the
shooting from the
in-character
hip
thing
like
to
blam,
do.
got him, one shot. No, we don't need that fucking backstory. Sure, you've had 3 opportunities to tell us the backstory. Shut the fuck up.
Get out of here.
That was so in character.
get nothing.
Though. I had to.
So, anyways, I started blasting.
Right?
There's no time for words.
Incredible.
I had to do it. It was the only in character choice. As a player, I was like, I'm throwing so many cards on the floor right now. I'm so sad.
I think we made a lot of in character choices that, like, if we could go back to try to maybe tell a better story, I don't know if we would. Like, I could do I want the link to install on the ship, or do I want to make a really cool boat? Like,
And he wants a cool boat for sure.
wait a minute, it doesn't go fast enough. All right, remove all the safety features. Okay, now we're talking.
I mean, we ended up getting to play with a link system anyways in the end.
That's true.
Any closing thoughts here?
I
No.
really like how up into the air of conjecture and fun our fates are. No solid here is your epilogue. It's just imagine one. I like it.
Yeah, it's good ending.
I also enjoyed that I had all of these conversations and thoughts and things about the Hosta, and the Hosta became completely irrelevant. I was like, well, I guess rather than like thinking through this problem, it's been completely removed. And then the
But what about
temptation,
second Hosta?
the temptation as a player was real, but not as a character. I really wanted that ship because I really wanted that ship, but there was no way that MINERVA was going to kill them and steal their ship.
I loved when some of our crit successes and crit fails happened too. Like, just timing wise, they were so good. Cutting your core in half, natural one. Merging with Van-Vee to
How many ships did we break to get where we wound up?
I really like how the when we showed up at the disaster, it was like the oil refinery that exploded.
Yes, on the ice
That was
planet.
fun.
I really like how that was a great time to showcase just how juvenile MINERVA was. And we got a lot of really good character moments in that whole thing.
Yeah, we did.
That's a good one.
Should be noted, just in case no one picked up on it, a huge number of early plot lines were based off of space shanties or sea shanties in general. I stopped doing it midway through the show because I ran out of good shanties, but there's so many plot lines we never went to. We never went to that mercenary general who kept calling him, was like, hey, are you sure you don't want bodyguards? Because people seem to want to kill you. Please answer my phone
I just
call.
kept having difficult access to money, and that sounded like money to be spent. I don't know.
I guess, that's another good point. I think, Ludemann, you really carried the Excel filing offline for the group.
Yeah. Remember when your ship had a mortgage before you had billions of dollars?
Yeah,
It was wild.
it's good.
It's like, wait, do we have enough money to buy more air?
Yeah,
Selling
afford this
that
record
stealth
player?
plating and then spending all of that money really unwisely.
we had fun with it.
Let's start an organization on a planet that we're about to be hated on.
Everyone needs
sure.
fun money.
The dude who knew what the stealth plating was, but I lied to him, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
So bad.
I was like, oh, this is going south. This is going very south. Or I'm gonna have to shoot someone else.
You got him a new life somewhere else.
Yeah, he's rich and relatively
very expensive bribe.
We never actually got to sit down and talk to the princess.
Yeah.
We'll never know
Never.
what the princess. I'll be the only one who knows what the princess looks like.
Yeah. Bummer.
So much princess merch throughout the whole show.
Could have been. Would have been.
Princess plushies on back order.
Nobody turned over that phone.
There will always be a space in my head that wonders if Minerva had basically gone full Warden, killed those Imago Dei because Minerva thought it knew better,
Yikes.
and tried to take over for the benefit of humanity to
Oh boy.
tell them how they
probably
need
final
to be.
episode because you're killing Van-Vee and Quentin probably. Right?
Maybe that is the last thing for this episode, is me asking, is there a card I didn't show you that you'd like me to flip over now? Is there something I didn't tell you and then taunted you with that you want to know?
I mean, for me, it's our moral dilemma at the end of this episode. If we didn't hit the delete button, because I mean that's like a big part of Van-Vee's character.
I don't know what I could tell you. They used the link system and the dust, like it was fully integrated with their plan. Like the machine that's in there is literally Sybil's dust printing machine that changes regular dust into a like container, a code container that uploads someone's brain into
if we'd opened the door, we would have seen dust and we would have blown it up anyway.
And of course, it has things.
That's what I figured.
Print young bodies, right? It literally prints like young humans at the age of conception.
It makes me feel better.
I feel like I have two cards I want to ask about.
You get one. The whole group gets one.
Oh,
One each?
No, one.
Yeah,
The whole
one.
What part of the whole group gets one?
Only one.
It's one card.
Just
What do you
one.
want me to overturn? Wow, Kain is really thinking on this.
This hurts. There's so many cards I want to see.
since we're having a bad short-term memory is good.
Dynamis is like, I don't remember what cards I wanted turned over.
I have to scroll.
There's so many cards
down.
in this pile over here, but I don't know what they're attached to.
Like my I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I had one tab first called session notes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 50 pages long, and I'm just like, I don't want to dive into that to try to go back and remember what's what now.
Right, well, for consideration to the group, if I had to limit myself to two to choose from to throw into this pot that we could pick from, the first is, we know that if I had failed too many of those mental effects, I want to know like what the course was for if I had failed those checks and I had not managed to escape the mini
scratching.
Alpha. And the other question that I kind of have was there a plan put together if I had chosen to take that second Asta and betray the Imago Dei? Those are the two things that I wonder about deeply. I think the first one's definitely the more impactful one.
Yeah. Well, no. Does 7 ever wind up actually finish eating 9? What's happening?
7, 8, 9.
We have 2 proposals on the table to vote.
No, we can go with Kane's question. That's fair.
Okay.
What was the plan for for failing the mental saves?
I had written out that if you had failed enough and I believe what happened was you were literally just under the limit. You had passed basically all of them. If you had failed enough, what was going to happen is in season 2, which we never actually did a season 2. We just kept doing a season 1. Is in season 2, I would not tell the audience what happened to you, but I would tell you that you were playing the evil version of yourself, and that every episode I would allow you to, before the episode started, you would be able to change something in a text file. So like if you sent Quentin something, you'd be able to include, like at first it would be one letter changed, and then it would be like one word, and then like one sentence, and then like one paragraph as the episodes would go on. And you made saving throws to like save against it, to let him or let anyone on the ship or let anyone anywhere know, like, oh, I'm still in here, I'm trapped, and there's an evil version of me in control of the body.
That's fun.
And
So-
then I would let you just basically play Minerva, but
Dark
occasionally
Minerva.
I would have mission objectives for you for XP. Like, you tell everyone what your XP total was, but your actual XP total would be the evil objectives you completed Among Us style when no one was looking. I would be like, oh, can you make a roll for this real quick, Minerva?
And then you'd still say, I'm not invading your privacy, but you would actually invade our privacy.
I'm watching you. This is Minerva. It's her little hologram. It's watching.
I hope that answered your question in a way that made it worth the waiting and, you know, the opportunity cost of flipping only one card over.
So it would have been like objectives to support Alpha's plan, right? To help put it together.
Yeah, to weaken various world governments so that they would be unable to resist it when it came out. So again, Alpha's whole plan was it was like mirrors and mists. He just wanted to baffle and confuse all of the governments so that even if they discovered his plan to make everyone psionic and then initiate a scream universe-wide and kill all organic life forever, that they wouldn't be able to because they'd be so busy fighting among themselves because all of their secrets had been revealed. Like, literally, some of them would be real. Like, he would reveal, like, oh, this guy killed his wife. But some of them would be like, oh, this guy killed his wife. Hadn't actually killed his wife, but would include enough information to make it look like he did. Now imagine he did that for everyone on the planet, and now no one can trust each other. They're all fighting. The government's collapsing in the process. That was Alpha's plan, that you literally killed him before he could flip the switch on that one. But Minerva would have been instrumental in starting that plan off, in turning everyone against each other so that when Alpha's plan started, it would be successful, murdering all organic life.
Given how chaotically we traveled places,
It would have been
It would have
super
been-
easy to hide that. Yes.
it would have been really easy
Yeah.
to do my missions. Oh man.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yes.
that would have been really neat. I also totally understand when I was like, I'm curious. I kind of want to fail this on purpose. And you're like, you'll be mad later. Don't do it. You're like, I know you well enough. Don't do this.
That's it. That was the last thing. Audience, you don't have to go home. You can't stay here.